Hello, family, friends, and fans. I'm Fletcher Roden, and this is Fletch Me Anything. It's a limited 2 week run here in 2025 to celebrate my new record, City of Eternal Spring. 10 brand new songs that are available wherever you like to download your favorite music. Okay, well, today I'm going to talk about uh, the friendliness of the Latin American cultures that I've come across. I'm currently, as you may or may not know, in Medellin, Colombia. And before that, I was in Ecuador. I've been in three major cities in Ecuador, three big spots. Quito is the major city. Cuenca is it's a significant city, and then Salinas isn't really hardly a city at all. It's more like a town, but it's a great place. So I've been around Central America. I'm South and Central America. I'm continuing to travel. Right now, I'm probably headed north. I don't want to say too much about where I'm going. I don't mind talking about where I've been, but I'm slow traveling, my friends. So here's one thing I've learned now: if you're not slow traveling like I am, then you're not learning these things. So I'm happy to pass this information along to people who are stuck where they are. So uh, really, what I want to talk about here is the friendliness of the Latin communities that I've been in. Ecuador, all the three places in Ecuador, here in Colombia, um, and I know a lot of Latin American people, and not from Latin America, but people who are, Hispanic in the U.S. And I got to say, this is the friendliest culture that I've ever known. Now I've been around the world, so I've been to some of the places that are really known for being welcoming and hospitable. Greece, in Greece, it's a stranger will call you in off the street to have dinner with their family. For them, it's a thing of honor. It's hospitality, and boy, have they got that in spades here. Uh, Colombia. If you've never been here, you might have the wrong opinion of it. You might thinking of it as those scenes of Bolivia in the William Friedkin movie Sorcerer. Probably you haven't seen that. Most people haven't. But I think I did a looking back on it. Great, great movie. So but it's not like that. It's not third world at all. It's not second world. It's pretty first world, really. Um, I guess maybe second, but I don't know. But the people, when you think of Colombia, you think of bad things. You think of kidnappings. If you're in the know, you think about the scolopopamine and the kidnappings and torturing even. Um, and there's some crime. I'm going to do another show about some crime in Latin America because that happens. But this is not. These are people who are warm, gracious, friendly. Everybody's smiling. Everybody's eager to help. I talked about this on my. I have another little mini series going right now called Fletcher Roden's Medellin Diaries, and I did that one because, first of all, there are some things you need to know if you're coming to Colombia that are particular to the area, and I wanted to share some of my experiences to sort of warn people and give them travel tips and things like that. And one story I told was about how friendly I was near a mall, and I went into a mall, looked for a shop, and I was asking somebody, and some stranger heard me, came over to me, a Colombiana woman, asked me if I needed help, took me by the hand practically, and walked me around the mall to help me find what I needed, which were a pair of dumbbells. So, very nice, super nice. And I was at the same mall the other day looking for something, and this time some 14-year-old kid comes up to me, says, "Excuse me, sir." Sir, but come on, of course. So he says, "Can I help you?" He helps me, he translates for me with the woman at the store. Then the kid walks with me, his name is Sebastian, walks me through the mall to find a store where I can get what I need. It's not there. So he walks me out of the mall and across the street to a store where I can get what I need. And the kid spends 20 minutes of his day just to help me out. just to walk me around. Now, I hope I don't come off as an enfeebled old man, as much as I often feel that way. Uh, be strong like bull. But, you know, I really felt like this young man was trying to help me out. He was 14 years old. We were talking. He lived in Miami for a number of years, returned to Colombia, where his family's from. He was born in Miami, chose a life in Medellin, speaks English very well. He'd been to France. He saw the Formula One qualifiers or something in Milan or something like that. So he was an interesting kid. 14, he'd already been to France. I was pretty impressed. A nice kid, didn't want me to get ripped off. Took me to the store. I was getting documents printed. So he talks to the guy to make sure I don't get ripped off. I don't know how much I would have gotten ripped off for, maybe a buck or two, but even so, it was just really nice. The kid went out of his way, and he was, we have a saying here that, you're like my family. We treat people like family, and they do. In fact, I'm not even sure that anybody I know would have been that. You know, I love my family, of course, but they I was hard pressed to imagine any 14-year-old kid in the United States saying, "Excuse me, sir, can I help you out? You seem to not be bilingual proficiently, but I am. Maybe I can help you." And then doing that. I just don't think it's in the American culture, and that's too bad. That's a sad thing. Where the American culture is in a state of flux right now. I don't think it's changing, but I think it's in a state of flux. So it's just maybe going back to what it used to be, or I don't know exactly. It's in a period of evolution or de-evolution. I'm not really sure, but it's in a state of flux. But I think it would have been a different America should some 14-year-old kid go to a foreign elderly, I mean elderly, but I'm senior citizen, depending on who's giving me the discount. But it struck me as unusually kind and gracious. But here it's not unusual. Here that's the way people are. So if you have the idea that Latin America is this huge sprawling ghetto full of people who just as soon cut your throat or dope you up or pull your teeth out or whatever, that's not the case. Divest yourself of that preconception. The Latin people are extraordinarily nice. They're welcoming, hospitable, all the things that humanity calls upon us to offer, to be, to have, to do. Um, they're great. It's an example to us all. We should all be so friendly. I believe that the meaning of life is a two-part equation. Okay, one part is external. That's the part we all share, and one part is internal. That's the part that's specific to each individual. And if you can do both of those things, the internal and the external, that's the meaning of life as far as I'm concerned. And lucky you, you're about to hear what it is. Okay? The the internal part is whatever you're born to do, do that thing. Whatever, if you're a natural born athlete, then do sports. If you're a natural born scientist, do science. If you're a natural born mathematician, do math, right? So in my case, I'm a natural born artist. I'm not saying I'm a great artist. I'm not saying I'm an artiste. I'm not saying that I'm an artist the world turns to for. I'm not the voice of my generation. Thank God for my generation. But art is what I'm meant to do. So I'm an artist, and I do that thing which I was built to do, which is art of various sorts. That's the internal thing. The external thing that we all share. You want the meaning of life? Here it is. Be kind. Something I learned from my friend Mary. Be kind. Now, my father used to say, well, the golden rule. He instilled that in us, and that's a great thing. But it's not quite it's not quite the same as being kind. Because some people don't want kindness. Some people would just as soon have tough love. But tough love is not always the right approach. But kindness is. So Part two of The Meaning of Life, be kind. Part one, do what you're meant to do. Now, this young man, Sebastian, he was being kind. And from all outwardly appearances, he was doing what he was meant to do. I mean, he's 14 years old, so probably doesn't really exactly know, maybe, what he's put on this earth to do, but he'll discover it. And he's already got the be kind part down. So that's a young man who's got his grip on the meaning of life. And that's something a lot of people never get a hold of, never get a grip on. So, but they do that here all the time. Being kind is the way of life for these Latin American countries. And that is a beautiful thing. At least that's been my experience. If you have a different experience, by all means, let me know. Put it in the comments section. I'll read it and I'll respond in kind. Because I like to interact. This is all about interacting. It's not just you listening to me prattle and talk about my new record, City of Eternal Spring, available for download wherever you like to download your favorite music. You can download mine. So let me know in the comments. But I'm telling you, I'm encouraging anybody to travel to Latin America, South America, Central America, um, Ecuador, Colombia. I'm next going to Costa Rica, and then we'll see. Thereafter, I'm slow traveling, kids. So don't have a preconception in your mind about this being a war torn place filled with criminals. It's not. It's not. None of these places are that. There are bad neighborhoods wherever you go. You can put yourself into trouble. They have a phrase here, no dar papaya, which means don't give papaya. It means don't make yourself a victim. Don't don't you know don't allow the things you treasure to be stolen easily. Don't make yourself a victim. Don't give papaya. People don't steal it, they just take it. You're giving it away if you're not protective. So there is that. But you know what? That's the same thing in the United States. They ought to use that. They ought to say, don't give, you know, bananas or something in the United States. Don't give Big Macs because people will rip you off no matter where you are, no matter who you are, if you're not cautious. But that doesn't mean that this or any other Latin American culture is like necessarily criminal. It's not. Now there are people who face economic challenges that are more difficult than they are in the U.S. sometimes. But guess what? There are people in the U.S. who have crazy, terrible economic challenges, and those are only about to get worse. So you'll be given a lot of papaya up in the United States if you're not careful. I think it's honestly safer to be here. And safer or not, the people are just so nice and friendly. You know, it's great. So divest yourself of your preconceptions. Don't prejudge a culture. Come on down, check it out. If you do, you'll find these people are warm and welcoming and awesome in every way. That's what I found. All right, so that's it for today's Fletch Me Anything. Hope I've done a little bit to bring communities together. Well, if not, you can always download my new album, City of Eternal Spring. That's available wherever you like to download your favorite music. You can download mine. Keep watching Fletch Me Anything. This is a 2-week run. It's limited. I also have other shows, Fletcher Roden's Pet Peeves, Quotes and Quips with Fletcher Roden. There are reruns of Fletch Me Anything on this YouTube channel. There's lots of music from me. There's a link below to the full album of City of Eternal Spring in case you'd like to preview it for free on YouTube. By all means, check it out. Thank you for watching. Tune in again. And until then, bye, Mary.